As nice as it is to look at your pictures on the monitor, they have a completely different effect hanging on the wall. How I have to prepare my pictures technically so that they come back from my service provider exactly as I saw them on the monitor, you will learn in this episode of the Colourclass Namibia. We have now arrived here at White Wall in Frechen, and our pictures are being produced behind me. Let's take a look behind the scenes together. We have now spread out here in the office, and the colleagues from White Wall have produced our photo, which you already know from our studio, on a wide variety of materials. The printing process, and especially the ink and most of all the material used, have a huge impact on the appearance of the image. We cannot change that. Here, at the very top, where it is actually only a dark grey, we have 100% black paint application. We can't get blacker than what we have here, which is just a dark grey. We cannot influence that digitally either. That is what we can achieve on this canvas. What we can do digitally is to simulate what effect this carrier material in particular now has on the file. For this, we need ICC profiles, and we can download them easily from the White Wall website. If we now activate the Softproof mode, we can already see on the monitor what this picture looks like if we put it into production unchanged. The good thing is, however, that we don't have to accept our fate and send the file exactly as it is. We can still change the file a bit. We can now optimize the image again by eye. Of course, not in the extreme points of black and white, but in all the other shades of grey and color in between, so that under the given conditions that such a material offers us, we're able to get the very best result. Let's go into more detail, starting with Photoshop. In Photoshop, you just go to View, Proof Setup, Custom. Then you choose the right ICC profile. In this case, White Wall ICC Canvas Matte. Very important, rendering intent should be relative colorimetric. The black point compensation should be activated, and the paper color should be simulated. If we go to OK now, we see that the picture looks significantly different than before. Of course, as I said, I can't change the black and white, but I can now intensify the contrasts a bit, for example. As you can see from the histogram here, this has the consequence that the lights and the depths clip a bit. But the picture as a whole is perhaps much more similar to what I'd like to have on the wall. Another visual aid to assess whether this image can now be printed this way or whether there are further problems with colors is the Gamut Warning. To do this, we go into View again and activate the Gamut Warning. This is an aid in which Photoshop now marks areas that cannot be printed at all. In this case, you can see that a large part of the sky has a shade of blue that cannot be printed on the canvas. We can then shift those blue tones that are not printable a little bit until we get blue tones that can be printed on this. And then we can be sure that a nice, clean transition without artifacts will be printed on the canvas. To show you the Softproof workflow in Lightroom, I chose an aluminium dye bond with a matte Fuji paper. To simulate this step, let's go to Lightroom, activate the Softproof mode by clicking Softproof below. Then a small menu pops up, and here we create a proof copy. Now you have to choose the right profile, in this case with the matte Fuji paper. Very important. Rendering intent is relative again, and paper color and ink should be simulated. Something that is very convenient is that you can choose a different view. For example, the before and after view, division right and left. Now we see our original file on the left, our proof file on the right. We can now adjust it a bit so that this proof file gets as close as possible to the original file. I would go ahead now, making the picture a little warmer, because the Softproof view has made the picture a little cooler. I will not fully reach the saturation of the blue tones because more blue than 100% blue is simply not possible. But I'm going to adjust the blue a bit in terms of brightness until it looks halfway as I imagine it. I'll make the orange a little darker as well. And now I'm at a point where I say the file looks the way I want it to be. And if I deactivate the Softproof mode again and go back to full screen view, I can see that the file now looks different from the original file. The source file is a bit darker. The file that I need so that the original file comes out of the machine on the matte photo paper as matching as possible must be a little lighter. I wouldn't have expected that without a Softproof view. But that's exactly what I want to achieve. Create an optimized file that, together with the machine and print media component, produces exactly what I actually want to get. And that's the Softproof view. We have now reached the point why we went on this trip in the first place. We got to know a great country, came back with a huge amount of fantastic pictures, and I very much hope that we could share our enthusiasm for this great country. That was it, the Colourclass Namibia.